Hey, you said you're pro sentience. So go ahead and clarify what you mean.
Do you know what pro-sentience is?
I don't know what you think it means.
I hate when niggas do that weird shit, bro. Do you know what pro-sentience is? Is a yes or no question. I didn't
Yeah, I
ask
know
if you
what
think
it
you know what
is.
I meant.
I
Oh,
know
you
what it
do?
means.
Okay, that's the only question I asked you. You didn't have to, do anything else after that. So as I was saying, let me go get to what I say pro-sentience is. I'll just break it down like this. Sentences slash consciousness is a necessary condition for moral status. A fetus prior to 20 or 18 weeks lacks sentient and conscious capacity. A fetus does not have moral status. It is morally permissible to abort a fetus prior to 18 weeks. It's completely fine.
Okay, so
So
you're
that's
saying it
point
has
A.
no moral status because it doesn't have sentience or consciousness, right?
It hasn't formed the sentience or consciousness. Formed. Is it
Yeah,
key
yeah,
word I
yeah.
want to
Okay,
use?
okay, okay. Yeah, saying it hasn't formed one is the same as saying it doesn't have one
No, it's
currently.
not. It's not. I'll explain to you the fundamental difference. So a person can be brain dead, right? Or a person could fall into a coma. This means this person would have got the ability to form this moral status and would have gotten this, something external would have happened to them to where they no longer are conscious. But the fact of the matter is they still would have some type of value because they formed it in the first place. However, before this, you even get the chance to
Oh,
form
you
it,
said have not
uh,
formed. Okay,
yeah,
I thought you said
hey,
they
don't
they
cut me
aren't
off,
gonna
bro.
form. Never
Don't
mind.
cut me off,
I'm
bro.
listening.
Don't cut me off. I don't really wanna. You feel what I'm trying to say? Don't. I'm not really with that cutoff shit today. As I was saying, yeah, that's why it's a big difference when you say have not yet formed or has. You know what I'm trying to say? Hasn't had one at all. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a difference.
So you're saying the distinction is they have not yet formed it, right?
Yeah,
Okay, and then you said it was a necessary condition or whatever. So let's say,
I think it is. Yeah.
okay, let's say we have like a coma baby that was gonna wake up in 1 second. Okay,
I don't care.
would
I don't
you?
care about these hypotheticals. I don't care about these
No, no, no,
hypotheticals
no,
that
no,
don't
no.
make
no.
sense.
Let
I'm
me
just
finish
saying
the
generalities.
hypothetical, bro. Bro, let me finish the hypothetical. There's a coma
Go
baby.
ahead.
It's gonna wake up in 1 second. Would you be fine with like slitting his throat or like cutting his limbs off?
That's just a relevant example to what I presented because
No,
I
it's not
know what we're
irrelevant. It's
talking
not
about.
irrelevant. It's showing
Yes, it
because
is.
if you agree to this,
This is just no,
I'll
no, no. Hold
explain
on.
why. I can explain why it's relevant. I can
Wait
explain
a
why.
second, bro. Just chill, bro. All you got to do is just chill.
Go ahead.
The reason why this is not relevant is because I've already gave the certain criteria of what I think, would we be arguing on here. If you cannot formulate your argument around the if
You
you
cut
can't
out.
formulate your argument around the criteria that I've already gave, then I don't give a fuck about the analogy, bro. So your argument's gonna come out shitty as fuck.
Okay, you're saying I need to formulate my argument around the criteria. Dude, that hypothetical was formulated around that
Oh, it
criteria.
wasn't.
That be quiet. That
Oh,
coma
it wasn't.
baby hasn't hold on. That coma baby hasn't yet formed like
What do you mean a coma baby?
hasn't been sent. Can I
If
finish? Can I even finish? Bro, listen.
oh, go ahead.
That
Go
coma
ahead.
baby hasn't yet been sentient or hasn't
What do you
formed
mean
a
coma?
conscious experience yet.
Can you
Okay?
elaborate? Okay, so it's before the 18-month period, right?
No, it's a baby. It's out of the
Then it's
womb.
not then it's not possible. It's a fundamental
You don't think
contradiction.
coma babies exist? You think coma babies exist?
That's not wait, hold on. Yes, coma babies exist, but they still would have formed a consciousness after 18 months, and something external would have happened that would have knocked them in a coma. That's literally the
No,
same
no,
argument.
Dead
No,
boy,
hold on, hold on,
Dead
hold on,
boy.
hold on. Once you bypass the 18-month period, you get some type of form of sentience. You know that, right? Do you understand that, right? Once you pass that 18,
No,
you know
no,
that, right? You not
dumbass.
understand that?
No.
And prove that,
The reason babies are born in a coma is because they never got that sentience.
Prove that,
Sure.
prove that.
Sure. Oh, you knew this, bro.
Yeah, like I said, it's very circumstantial. Babies can enter a coma through a variety of reasons. Severe brain injuries caused by trauma, infections by meningitis, encephalitis, lack of oxygen during birth, metabolic imbalances, drug intoxication, or severe neurological conditions. So all these are very circumstantial situations that will fit outside the parameters that I've already said. So the same thing that I'm saying is this is way before, way after the 18-month period. So could you show me as an example of someone who has not yet formed a
Dead boy, that
consciousness
doesn't matter.
that
That doesn't matter.
surpassed the 18-month period? That doesn't make sense. In order for you to even be considered a baby in the first place, you would have had to went past that 18-month period in the first place. Yes, at 18 months is when consciousness and subconsciousness forms in human beings. This is a consistent, objective way of how our anatomy works. You cannot show me anything
Okay,
different.
now shut the fuck up. Listen. All what you said was the necessary condition is conscious experience or have formed a conscious experience in the past or have
That's not
had
what I said. That's not
sentience
what I
in the
said.
past. That
Track the
is what you
argument.
said. That is what
No,
you
it's not.
said. Swear on
We
your
have a
mother.
severe.
Put on your mother. On
Well,
your mother.
hold on. So that's a severe tracking issue, right? What I
Swear
said
on your
was,
mother.
well, hold on. The argument was, which I need you to understand because you're just going to lose if you don't understand the argument is. My argument is having having formed a sentience as a necessary condition for moral status. I
That's what I
separate
just
the being.
said.
That's not what you said. I said I
That's what I
separate
just
the
said.
bro. Flames, bro. Shut up. I separate the beings that have not yet formed a consciousness, then the beings that have formed a consciousness. Then something happens to where this you cannot use it to its full capacity, or it gets taken away. Regardless of the fact, there are no babies, there are no beings that are even being popped out of a mama's pussy that have not at least formed some type of form of consciousness after the 18-month period. That's it wouldn't like that. Doesn't know how it
Okay, you
works.
brain dead bitch. Listen, I sent the
How
study.
do you think? Wait,
Shut
hold
up.
on. Wait,
Shut
hold
up.
on.
I'm
Do
talking. I'm
do you know
talking.
how
Be
brain? Do you
quiet.
know
Be
how brain
quiet.
deads
Be
work?
quiet.
Do you know how
Wait,
brain deads
wait,
work?
wait. Can you mute him, bro? Can you mute him? Like he keeps aping, bro. Okay. Listen, what I'm saying is, I already sent the study where they say that these coma babies, like babies that are born in comas, who are more than 18 months old, obviously, never had sentience. Okay,
Let me see.
so they never
You didn't
developed
send
this
no study. You
sentience.
didn't
Now
send no
shut
study
up,
at all.
shut
You
up,
didn't send no
shut up,
study.
shut up, shut
You
up,
didn't.
shut
You
up,
didn't send no
shut up.
study,
Be
bro.
quiet. I wasn't finished. I wasn't
You
finished.
didn't send no
You
study.
said you said that
You
having
didn't send the
formed
study.
sentience, hold on.
Send the
You said
study.
having formed a conscious
Send
experience
the
or
study.
sentience is a necessary condition. Okay. In
And
the
send the study.
example I
I asked you
gave,
to
this,
prove something. I asked you
wait,
to
wait,
prove
wait,
something.
wait, 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 can you mute him? Can you mute him?
Can you
Can you
send
mute
the
him?
study? I'm asking you where you
And
send the
you,
study
I
at.
sent it inside chat. I sent it inside chat. Can you mute him?
No, inside chat. Where
Yeah,
can we
yeah,
talk
it's
about the?
inside
Can
chat.
we
Wait,
talk
hold on,
about the
hold on.
proof?
Theo, can you
Can
mute
we
him?
talk about the proof first? No, I don't want to go on no other
No, no,
proof.
no.
I want
I
to
want to
proof
finish my
first.
argument. I want to finish my argument,
So
I
dumbass.
don't ask
hold on.
that, fuck nigga.
Oh,
Let
he
me
himself.
see it. Hold on.
Or
Let me
just
go look at what you
figure this
sent
out
me.
between yourselves, nigga.
Oh,
Let me
dead
look at
boy,
what
Damn.
you sent me
shut
because
up. I
it's
wasn't finished.
this
I'm not finishing my
section.
argument.
Bro,
Mute
Bro,
him,
bro.
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 I wasn't
So
even finished.
We
Mute
don't
him.
have fucking
wait, so
stats,
so
I
flame, so
flames.
gave it
flame,
to
so
you.
flame.
I gave it
No,
to you.
hold on. So flames, I looked at the proof,
Bro,
and
I'm
this just
not
shows.
finished, dead boy. I'm
Well,
not
hold on. Let me
finished.
respond to the proof that you sent. I don't
No,
care that you're
no,
about to
you
make
can
an external
respond
point.
after I'm done. You can
No,
respond after
you
I am
sent the
done.
proof. No. So
You can respond after I am done.
this evidence isn't
You
even
can
evidence if
respond
it doesn't
after I
lead.
am done.
This
Dead boy,
evidence
you don't
isn't
understand my
evidence
argument.
because it
Theo,
doesn't
Theo, can you
lead
mute him?
to
Can you mute him?
conclusions.
Can you
It
mute
doesn't
him?
lead to
Can you
this
mute him?
conclusion.
Wait, do
Can you
y'all
mute
even
him?
have like an agreed upon moderator? Like, come on
I want
now.
a
Like, this is
moderator.
crazy.
I'm
Wait,
not
Deadboy,
debating
do you
with you.
want
Let's
Quit
get a
one?
forcing
moderator,
me to
bro.
mod, bro.
I don't feel like I don't feel like we need one, but I feel like he's just doing something like he's being like an asshole. Like he sent
I
proof.
didn't even finish. I didn't even finish. He just wanted to ape, bro.
Bro, you sent proof. Let me go get the like. What are you talking about? I'm aping. I hate when y'all niggas about to do
You can
that shit.
get
Y'all
Arjun
niggas
to
been out of
moderate. You can
control.
get Arjun to moderate.
I fuck y'all niggas talking about.
I do feel like
Well,
you're cherry
honestly,
picking
like,
evidence for that boy to be
well,
able to attack
honestly,
that.
let.
Let me
Honestly, I would
respond
say
because he
like,
sent it.
I mean, I would say like, let Flames elaborate on what he sent, and then you can just attack the entirety of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be easier
And
on
that's just
roasting that
like,
boy. That cool with you?
Okay, yeah. What I sent was the study where they've never awakened the sentience. Now, what I'm saying is, you said that the necessary condition to like having moral value was having formed sentience or having formed consciousness. Necessary condition meaning this is the only condition. So in this analogy, in this hypothetical with a baby that's born in a coma, which is possible by the way, the only like condition or like the only condition that's part like the criteria is having formed a conscious experience, and this coma baby hasn't formed a conscious experience. So under your view, you wouldn't like morally consider it.
Alright, can I
Not that
respond?
hard.
So
Like,
directly, we have a case of a person that just doesn't know what they're sending. So if you click on the link that like Flame sent as this quote unquote proof, I'm streaming by the way, so you can both see this together. It says disorders of consciousness and a coma. Find out how a child's consciousness can be affected by acquired brain injury.
that's
This
not what it says.
obviously means that. All right, hold on, don't cut me off yet. I just sat there and shut the fuck up for you. You need to shut the fuck up for me. This says can be affected by acquired brain injury. So that's just the first thing we need to pay attention to. This section looks at acquired brain injury can affect a child's consciousness. So off the first sentence of the scan you sent, it doesn't even support you. This supports my interpretation that there is no such things as babies being born without consciousness, because they would have still formed it as it says here, but they have an injury that can affect it. This is directly what your scan says. So let's keep reading. A brain injury can result in loss. Loss is in subtraction of something you already had, consciousness. So there's no part of the scan where it says beings can be born without a consciousness. All this is proving is the thing that I've been trying to say, is that you can have some type of form of consciousness form, but something external happens to you, even from the thing that you fucking sent, brain injury hub, where it takes it away from you. So again, I'm going to place the burden of proof back on you again. Can you give me a scan or a study of where beings, like human beings, can be born without consciousness? That's like quite contradictory, because that 18-month that period had to pass. That 18-week period had to pass. So what is your response to that, bro?
Wait, I copy pasted the wrong link. My bad. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, wait, my internet's too ass to Google shit right now. Okay, that's fine. I don't even have to like actually show you like this is actually the case. I can just say there's this hypothetical where this baby's born in a coma and it's never awakened sentience before or like
That's not
consciousness.
possible. This hypothetical can't happen.
Why is it not possible? Why, wait, what possibility? What
Because
possibility are you
okay,
talking
hold on.
about? What
I already
possibility are you
explained
talking about?
physical possibilities, and what we're talking about, the formation of a
Why is
being.
it physical
Stop cutting
possibility?
me up. Right, I've already explained, and I've said it multitude of times why it's physically impossible. When I tried to place the burden on you, you tried to send something to prove that.
Physical isn't a
Which you did.
modality.
Stop, Flames. Stop cutting me off. I do try to send something to prove what you were saying, but now you have nothing that proves what you're saying. So now what you have a claim that beings can function without this 18-week period of you forming a consciousness. You have not sent one study, you have not sent one anything that supports this. So I'm not going under your hypothetical view, because it's only hyper charitable to you to help you formulate an argument. That is highly fallacious.
You're done.
You're not actually arguing upon things that actually happen in reality. So in reality, beings cannot just be born without a consciousness unless an external factor happens to them. Regardless of not, if you're a baby, it's presupposed that you would have went past that 18-week period where you have some type of form of consciousness that gives you moral status. We could literally move on. You're not responding.
Okay. Listen. You said you were talking about a physical modality. A physical impossibility does not fucking exist because physical isn't a fucking modality, dumbass. Typically, when
That's
people wait,
irrelevant.
hold on. Typically, when people make reductios, they're talking about a logical modality. Okay, like for example, just because hold on, just because
Not gonna interrupt him, man.
yeah, good. W Arjun. Just because the stuff in the reductio isn't like in alignment
Wait,
with
time
the
out,
current
time
state
out.
of affairs.
One,
Shut
hold on.
up. Shut
Wait,
up.
hold
Shut
on.
up. Shut up.
Yeah,
Shut
I'm
up.
gonna just
Let me
disconnect
finish.
him.
Let me finish.
I got
Can I
you.
finish?
You
Can I
can
finish?
finish. Go ahead. I just had to
Okay.
disconnect him.
Just because just because the things in the reductio aren't in alignment with the current state of affairs, doesn't mean I can't use a reductio. If like the implication of your position was that
What?
if you saw like a baby, you'd rape it. That obviously that's not what's happening right now, but that still makes your
Yeah,
position evil.
I just choose not to
A
respond to
reductio.
things that I just choose not to respond to certain things that have no basis in reality or have any actuality of happening. I try to debate to find the truth or synthesis of things, right? That's what we're debating, these moral topics. Usually, in most of the time when people debate moral topics, that can be based off of facts. You know what I'm trying to say? Like studies, like which my position is from. I wouldn't just go off of hypotheticals, because that completely contradicts or goes against my whole reasoning, which my whole reasoning is based off of logic and science. So scientifically and logically and physically, We do not have beings. This is what you claimed initially. We do not have beings that have went past this 18-week period that have not yet formed of consciousness. I do not care if I talk about the reductios. Don't even know how reductios are used within a debate. You don't even know what a reductio is and how it actually helps or hurts someone in a debate. So you can just start saying other shit because they hear other niggas argue. I thought you were getting amped for this. You're still, amped. But as I was saying, still, all that does not matter to my initial argument. You do these little things to get around my way of my original argument because you cannot do anything. You cannot respond to my original argument. My original argument is I do not value things that have not yet formed a consciousness. You have not gotten around to that at all. So you can try to use your reductios, but your reductios does nothing to you in this debate because that wouldn't actually be the scenario over that I presented. And you cannot say that. You can say that's absurd, but that's not the scenario that I presented to try to, formulate some type of connection between the two because it's two fundamentally completely different things. This reductio cannot even happen.
Okay, are you done? Okay, you said you go off science, or you go off logic or whatever. Listen,
Yeah.
I gave you the consistency where when people are like talking about what's moral and what's not, they don't just go off science. They can also use reductios to show, hey, this is immoral. Because like, let's say your position entails that child rape is okay. Like you'd walk up to a child hypothetically and rape it. Obviously, that still means your position is immoral. I said this before. You said, shut up.
Okay.
You said you don't think I know what a reductio is. Okay,
You don't.
all I'm doing when I give you a reductio is to reduce your position to absurdity. Okay, and you said I haven't gotten
What does
around.
that do for you?
Shut
What does that do
up!
for you to
Shut
debate?
up!
What
Shut
does that do for
up,
you to
bro!
debate?
Shut up! Shut up! Listen, you said I haven't gotten around your original position. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. That isn't the scenario presented. That doesn't have to be the exact
It
scenario
does.
that you presented, dumbass.
It had to
I
have some
can.
type of
Can I
correlation.
finish?
It would
Can I
have to have some
finish?
type of
You're an
correlation.
ape. You're an ape. You're an ape. You're an actual ape. Okay, listen. I
It would
can
have to have
get
some type of
around what you
correlation.
said by giving an example that
No,
has
you're
all the
not.
same
You're just
moral
responding to something
implications.
I never
This
said.
fetus hasn't. I mean, this
No,
baby
it's not.
hasn't
It
yet
doesn't
formed a
have. No, it doesn't.
consciousness.
It has a fundamental.
By the way, for
It's
the
a
judges,
fundamental contradiction.
I'm gonna dismiss everything he said while I was talking because like I didn't hear that shit.
That's not how it works. I'm not even giving a point. I'm just letting you
You can repeat
know.
it then.
Okay. So Flames, let me just respond to you. One, a reductio ad absurdum is a type of argument that attempts to prove a claim by showing that the opposite scenario would be absurd, also known as argumentative ad absurdum. For example, you might use a reductio to disprove the idea that all philosophers are not intellectually trivial. So, do you know like what reductios do for you, like within the context of a debate? How do you think it helps you? Like, do you think it wins you a point? Like, what do you think it does for you? Because I know you actually don't know.
I think if it shows that the counter position is absurd, then we can just go with the most consistent like position.
It's not what happens at all. All it does,
Yes, it is.
all it does is just make their position less credible. So it's more so a sense where you can try to say that it makes more sense of what you're saying. But in order for this credibility to happen, it would have to align with the same parameters that my position actually holds. You're throwing a reductio on a position that I do not hold because my position in the first place is that a baby cannot just be brain dead and not have yet formed it. We cannot just give hypothetical things that literally make no sense. What we're doing is you're making a hyper specific hypothetical situation that can never actually happen to support you in a debate because you know it's actually attacking an argument. There's no way for you to get around it. There's a fundamental difference in the situations that you presented. One, you're saying there's a baby who's not yet formed a consciousness. That is a fundamental contradiction that cannot make sense. And two, I don't remember the second thing you said. But again, that just doesn't respond to my initial point. Again, for my initial stuff that I said, you have not yet once proven to me why it's less credible at all. You just tried to prove something, you couldn't prove it because you sent wrong proof. Now you try to lie about your internet. You wasn't lagging at all. Like I don't want to hear this shit, bro. Like you just suck. You literally
Okay,
suck.
Deadboy. When we say that reductios make something less credible, we're saying it makes it more absurd, and that's why you view it as less credible. Okay. Then you said I
Yeah.
need the same
That doesn't
parameters.
mean that doesn't mean you're wrong.
Shut up. Shut up. I've said this 80 times. At least, if I were to be realistic, I said this like 5 times, bro. I said we have the same. I have the same parameter with the like coma baby because
You don't.
what you said was that the necessary condition was having formed a conscious experience. Okay.
That's not what I said.
There's the exact same condition there with
It's not.
There's the exact same condition with the coma
But
baby.
the
Shut
thing
up,
is,
shut up, shut up,
the
shut up, shut
condition
up, shut up,
can't
shut up.
work.
Nigga, bitch, fuck up. Okay. You said that was hyper specific. I don't care. I said this like multiple times, dude.
You don't
If
care
the
that you
moral,
don't
if the
care. You
moral
don't care.
implications of your position, Deadboy, if the moral implications of your positions are fucking ass and like absurd,
That's
then
not the
obviously
moral
it's a terrible
implications, though. I just
position.
think you have a
Now
false belief
listen,
what the moral
listen, listen,
implications
listen,
are.
listen.
You already have
You said a
anxiety
baby
issues, so
with
why
a
should I
no.
believe?
You said babies with no conscious experiences
No,
or like
babies
haven't
that have
formed
not
one
yet
is a
formed a
contradiction.
consciousness.
Shut up.
Baby that has not
Shut
yet formed a
the
consciousness.
fuck up. Listen, it was a physical. I mean, it's not even physical. I don't know why I'm saying that. You were trying to say it's like a physical contradiction that doesn't exist. Physical isn't a modality. Okay, I
You can
said
have physical.
when
You
we
can
make
have.
reductios,
You can have physical
when we make
conversations.
shut up,
You can be physical.
shut up. When we make
You're just saying shit. You're
reductios,
just
it's
saying
a
shit.
logical modality usually.
You're just saying.
Okay,
You're just saying
and I
shit. There could
gave
be
you this
physical
example with
contradictions.
child rape. Okay, just
There could be
because you're
physical
not
contradictions.
currently raping a child, that
There could
doesn't
be,
mean that your
bro.
moral
There
implications
could
of your
be,
position,
bro.
which are I'd rape a child,
Bro.
isn't bad.
There can be physical contradictions. You know that, right? It's literally a situation where two
That's not a
contradictory
modality.
requirements are placed.
That's
Hold
not a
on.
modality.
A physical contradiction is literally a situation where two contradictory requirements are placed on a single parameter of a system. It's a common thing that people use a lot. You just don't know anything about what the fuck you debate.
I cut out.
You
What
want me
did
to
you
give you
say?
you want me to give you an example of a physical contradiction that can't make sense? An airplane needs to fly at both high and low speed. A TV needs to be both loud and quiet. That is a physical contradiction. It cannot work because the physicality of this thing. A human cannot have wings for a multitude of fucking reasons. It doesn't make sense. Like literally, certain
The
things
fuck,
does not make sense. You just suck, Flames, as I've been trying to say this whole time.
dude,
And
Deadboy. If you
all a reductio does is just reduces an argument to make it less credible, but it does not inherently outright disprove the argument. So if you're trying to do like more of a credibility thing, where you think that you just sound more convincing to me, you're going to lose because you're not more convincing to me. Your rhetoric's ass and your argumentation is just bad. So your reductio can't even really be used in the sense where it actually supports you. It doesn't support your argument because your argument has no basis in the first place. So do you want to go to conclusions? Because I think I basically murdered you this whole time for 10 minutes straight.
No, I don't. I don't. Okay, you said you gave this little plain and TV example to show these contradictions. That's called a nomological contradiction, dumbass. I'm saying when we
What
make
do you think a monological
reductios.
contradiction
Can I,
is?
wait, hold on. Can I finish?
I'm
I'm
asking you to
saying
elaborate.
typically, dude. I'm saying typically. I'll elaborate when I'm done. By the way, I'm saying typically when we talk about reductios, we use logical modalities. Okay, we don't use like nomological modalities.
Why
We
is it
can.
typically?
That doesn't mean we do. Okay,
Why is it typically?
logical modalities are accepted. Now,
Why?
you said there was like you
Why
said
is
the
it
reductio
accepted?
doesn't
Prove it.
hold on. You said the reductio doesn't disprove your claim. All we're trying to accomplish in an applied ethics debate is to show that one side is like more absurd than the other. That's it.
That's not true. That's not what I tried. I don't know why, Flames. One, that's just not true. It's like that's I don't like you can't prove that. Like literally, let's just look up what you said. Hey, what did he just say? You this nigga said in an applied ethics debate. Nigga said in an applied ethics debate.
Dead boy. You
Hold on.
conceded that
Wait a minute.
reductios are supposed to reduce something to absurdity when you read out the definition. It was reductio ad absurdum, dumbass.
I understand what a reductio is, but you just saying that, you cutting in, you just gave no extra substance to this debate. I agree. I know what a reductio ad absurdum is, but I know how to actually use it. It's a use to diminish someone else's argument to make it less credible. But in order for you to also do that, the actual arguments at hand that you give need to have some type of credibility. Every actual refutation that you gave within this debate is not based in reality, is not based off of fact at all. So your reductio ad absurdum cannot be even used in this case because I've already told you the fundamental contradictions that it formulates with trying to compare these two opposite scenarios. And you're making a scenario specifically for you in this debate to make it so it's easier for you to respond to. That's fallacious. You're directly mix and matching my argument to formulate it in a way to make it seem less absurd, even though there's certain positions or criteria that obviously your argument does not hold that I fit inside mine. So again, it's not the same. The reductio ad absurdum cannot go through, and you need to actually respond to its substance at point because you have not yet, since the jump of the debate, have did that because you know you actually cannot. You see, I notice like every argument that you give, every refutation that you give, I directly respond to it. I directly disprove your evidence. I directly beating you right now. You just suck. And I want my $100. You just suck. And I'm tired of proving to people that you suck.
You're
You
dumb.
suck and
You're
you never
dumb.
be good.
By the
I'm done.
way, I sent.
I'm done, but you send a scan that agrees with me. I'm done. I'm done.
What?
But you send a scan
I
that agrees
sent
with me.
my definition of nomological. That's all I mean. Let's move on.
Do you know what nomological fucking contradictions are, bro? That you're just saying words. That doesn't help you in a debate. You just saying it's a nomological contradiction. Like, it doesn't help anything. You know, I just told you what a physical contradiction was. Unless you want to sit here and debate me that physical contradictions don't exist when you can just look up this concept your fucking self, I don't know
Wait,
what to do.
look up a physical modality. You won't find anything.
I don't give a fuck about physical modalities. I'm not talking about that. That's irrelevant to my
Wait,
argument. My
well, I
argument
feel
is
like,
physical contradiction.
not gonna lie, I feel like this doesn't really matter. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
you're
this
just
is all
saying
wrong.
whatever like Deadboy's referring to is like a nomological like modality. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah,
But
I know, but it
then
just
I feel
boils
like
down.
he doesn't really explicitly have to say it's a nomological, modality. You already know what he means, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
fine.
fine, it's fine. Still doesn't talk what I'm saying. You can move on.
All right.
All right, bro. So I think I won already, bro. You want to move on, bro?
We can conclude if you want.
All right, but you
You
can go
save.
conclusions first. Hey, Matt, before we do that, do you